Good morning. So the other day when I went round, I tagged this tree as a dangerous tree. So I did say at the time that rather than getting the tree surgeons to do it, I think I'll be able to do this one myself. So let's go through why I've tagged it. So it's a willow tree, and at some stages it's been pollarded. So they've cut the top out of it and it's re-sprouted. Now I don't like the way it looks, but that is a perfectly acceptable way of maintaining a tree. If it's got too big, you can do this to it. Now, if I wanted to, I could just trim all those branches off and leave it to sprout out again. But my concern is the water that's coming out of it here. So that says to me that it's rotting down on the inside. The water is getting in and just continuing down. So that means the top of the tree isn't terribly stable. I then also noticed this crack down the bottom here where you can actually fit your hand into the tree and this just pulls away as much. So that says to me that the centre of that tree is rotten all the way down. So how do we remove it? There are three options. Option one is you cut it at the base and fell it. If I do that, it squashes everything over there. Option two is you put a ladder up against it and cut the branches. Now, I'm cutting this down because I feel it's a dangerous tree, so I don't want to put a ladder up against it. So option three is to use a long saw, stand on the ground level and cut all the branches off that way. So I have got my manual saw, but also in the back of the shed I found this long chainsaw. Now, I remember there being something wrong with this. That's why it's never been used before. Problem is I can't remember what's wrong with it. So I thought I'll start by giving this a try and see if I can cut it with that. If not, I've got the manual saw over there as a backup. So yeah, let's crack on. Would you believe it? I forgot to press record. So, it's working well so far. Right, let's press record this time and carry on with the rest of it. Okay, so that's everything down. I know that isn't the best way to work because you're then trampling over everything, but I wanted to get all the noise out of the way in one go. So chainsaws are finished with now until I have to take the trunk down. So the long chainsaw there worked. However, I found the reason it was in the shed is because it leaks fuel. So I can't quite work out. It might be coming from where that rubber grommet is, or it might be coming from the fuel cap, or it might be coming from both. But if you turned it up the wrong way, fuel poured out of it. So that's probably going back in the shed until it can be repaired, which means it'll probably just sit there in the corner of the shed. So yeah, right. Now to tidy this lot up. Okay, well that's the bulk of the branches cleared. Now, before I do anything else, I want to get this trunk down. Now normally you'd cut a bird's beak out one side, cut in from the other side, and the section in the middle would work as a hinge, so you've got control over where it lands. Now obviously the centre of this is compromised, so that's not going to work. But this is leaning at an angle, so we know that it is going to go that way no matter what. So I will still try to cut the bird's beak out of it, but like I say, I'm not sure how this is going to end up going. It's probably going to make a mess when it lands. Right. Well, I actually saw, I didn't bother with the bird's beak. So as I cut that in, I could feel it was rustling. And that is the healthy stuff around the edge. All this fluffy looking stuff is rotten. And obviously in the centre here, nothing at all. So yeah, pleased that's down. So yeah, now what to do with it? Okay, so I've cut that stump as low as I can now. I didn't want to cut into the ground because of mucking up the chainsaw chain, but I'm thinking that's low enough because we don't really want that one growing back, seeing the state of it. But we've got 3 yew trees there that should grow up nicely to replace it. I'm going to spend a bit of time and clear all these branches and everything, tidy this all up. But that's the sections that I took off the base. But you can see this is the top here. As you can see, that was completely rotten as well, so it was good to get that out. So I'm going to clear that and take that up to the bonfire pile. But this big trunk section I'm not 100% sure what to do with. So I could cut it up smaller so it's easier to manoeuvre, and again take it up and maybe try and burn it. But I'm thinking that's actually a nice height to sit on. So I know it's a little bit rotten, but for now I could manoeuvre it to the side of the path here, maybe use some of the thicker branches there as stakes either side of it and just put it in as a bench. We'll see what the owner says. I mean, it might not last long, but if it lasts a couple of years, then it'll be by that stage rotten enough that I can cut it up easier. So yeah, right, well I'm going to have a tidy up. We'll see what the owner says about that, and yeah, I'll see you in a minute. You know, when they designed this trailer, I don't quite think this was what they're expecting me to be doing with it. So I managed to get it in there in one go. Right, let's go and put that somewhere. Okay, well that is me all tidied up and clear for the end of the day. Now I don't know what you think, but I think this area is looking a lot bigger, a lot more open, and it's letting a lot more light in having that tree removed, so that should be good. Hopefully this grass or moss should green back up and get rid of that mud. So our log here, the owners did say I could leave that, so it was sitting quite nicely on the floor there, but I put some extra stakes around the edge of it just to stop anyone from rolling it, or also we know kids are going to walk along it, so we want it nice and secure for them. Yeah, then over here we've got this bed here. It looks a bit rough at the moment. Hopefully it will settle down after a few rain showers, but it's kind of difficult to know what to do with this section because we want the ivy as ground cover, but there's quite a few leaves built up on top of it. Now the leaves building up can swamp out the ivy, but at the same time if you rake it too hard that can damage and kill the ivy. So I've done the best I can, but I don't want to damage too much, so hopefully that will perk up. But yeah, cleared lots of leaves. So raked all the leaves down around there, and you can now get down to the fishing platform there and there. We don't use the lake for fishing anymore, but they make wonderful viewing areas. And of course with that tree gone, you've now got a lovely clear view of that, which you're going to have all summer as well. It's not going to be blocked when the leaves come out. So yeah, I shall end this video here. If you liked it, do leave a like and please subscribe. And I shall see you later.